Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is a group of 6 from RMIT University in Melbourne, Australia, presenting for Apricot Consultancy, an ESG consultancy based here in Melbourne, Australia. We've created a collaborative digital playbook for the consultancy, which we will present to you collaboratively today. We would like to start off with our acknowledgement of country, of course. We gratefully acknowledge the traditional owners and their custodianship of the lands on which this project originated. This country, known as Australia, where Aboriginal people have lived and practiced their culture for many, many thousands of years. We'd like to pay our respects to their ancestors and their descendants who continue cultural and spiritual connections to country. We recognise their valuable contributions to Australia and to global society. This is the following agenda for our report. So if you just have a look here and have a read, we will take you through the following. Each of the 6 team members here will individually present a few of the slides. So stay tuned for that all the way through to conclusion. I can start off with a brief introduction for Apricot Consulting. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the consultancy, they are an ESG specialised consultancy providing process and technology to help organisations essentially nationally here in delivering those ESG sustainable business performances and providing good value for the people and for planet and societies as a whole. We predominantly targeted the pharmaceutical industry and focused on this for Apricot simply because we recognised there was a growing importance of ESG in the pharmaceutical industry and significant growth anticipated over the next decade. So it was something to the likes of 11 to 13% in comparison to any other industries. We also understand that this is a really helpful guide for pharmaceutical companies and that the need for ESG solutions will go and stretch beyond just the basic regulatory compliances needed for Apricot Consultancy or for the compliance internally for these organisations. We also understand and recognise that Apricot will remain competitive by continuing to innovate and expand their services to industries which are growing, such as pharmaceutical, and this will really help to cultivate their client relationships, which is really imperative for any industry and any organisation. We also like to say Apricot stays updated, which they are at the moment, but they will remain updated on emerging ESG trends through pharmaceutical regulations given the size of the industry, and this will also help to maintain their position as a trusted advisor. Apricot's expertise in the Australian ESG market also offers a very competitive edge in the ever-evolving ESG landscape. So pharma was an absolute no-brainer when it came to research, which is why we decided to go with it effectively. In this section for ESG industry insights, we use tools such as PESTLE and Porter's 5 Forces to uncover industry insights which were really relevant to the ESG sector in Australia and for the consultancy as a whole. I'll now hand it over to Basil, who will discuss the next steps for the report and industry insights. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Faye, for going over the ESG industry insights. As now I will talk about the next phase of research, which is the market dynamics insights. And in this phase, we examined the internal and external factors through conducting a competitor, customer, and company analysis. And in the stage of competitor analysis, we identified the competitors, then compared their offerings, which eventually helped in creating perceptual maps to identify their brand identity in comparison to Apricot. To get an understanding of the appropriate approach, we created a target persona in the customer analysis that relates with the target industry. And we use tools like user personas, empathy maps, and customer journey maps to assist in navigating the customer decision-making process. And then eventually, after covering these points, we were able to conduct a company analysis to determine the points of parity of the company against their competitors. We then used a VRIO analysis, which helped in determining the value of their resources. And now I'll hand it over to my friend Madhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Basil. Now, this is where things took an exciting turn. The crux of our entire project hinged on our collaborative efforts as a team in these next 5 steps. We began by crafting our strategies utilizing a SWOT analysis as a foundational framework. From there, we developed a TOWS analysis, which led us to identify 3 pivotal strategies: branding, awareness, and engagement. These were then rigorously assessed by using an impact effort matrix and a DVF analysis, ultimately revealing the most promising strategy. How might Apricot harness its Australian ESG market proficiency in response to the increasing need of awareness and demand? I'm excited to hand it over to Mrinal, who will now present our final solutions for the digital marketing playbook. Mrinal?
I will now be guiding you through the marketing blueprint that we've developed. I'll now be guiding you through the marketing blueprint that we have developed. We use a systematic and comprehensive approach that seamlessly integrated multiple strategic tools and concepts to create a targeted and cohesive plan. The first step was to identify all the touchpoints a user encounters during their customer journey. This ensures that all these touchpoints are addressed and none are overlooked. We then differentiated all these touchpoints as inbound and outbound marketing so that we could develop the type of content that needed to be prevalent on all these platforms. The next step was to develop a marketing funnel, which is a tool that illustrates the customer's journey from awareness to advocacy. It also shows how the customer moves from one level to the next and identifies the touch point and the type of content that is required for them to move into the next level. This also helps identify any kind of drop-offs so that we could address those areas and create a more wholesome and cohesive customer journey. The 5A concept works in tandem with the marketing funnel and describes how the customer moves through the customer journey. First, by being aware of the services of the company, to being appealed by them, then making an effort to ask for information pertinent to them, acting on that information, and finally becoming an advocate for the services that they received. We then move to the marketing mix. The first step is the product offering. We suggest that Apricot move beyond the traditional ESG consulting service, and we identified a new product called the Goodness Score. The Goodness Score is a universally recognized ESG compliance score, which is a compliance score given as a rating after a comprehensive and thorough investigation by Apricot Consulting, which becomes a badge to any company on how ESG compliant they are. The promotional strategy hinges on developing engaging content at every level of the funnel. The plan includes leveraging a combination of hero, hub, and hygiene content. Hero content are large-scale brand awareness campaigns. Hub content are directly pushed content for your target customer, and hygiene content are always on content for the entire audience. Within this, our first element deals with social media. We created a social media calendar that incorporates all the social media channels that Apricot could leverage and the different types of content that they could post on each platform. Here are a few examples of the types of content they could use. The website functions as the first point of contact for potential customers. Therefore, it's very important that the website remains accessible and discoverable. Accessibility means that all the relevant information is easily accessible on the website itself, whereas discoverability means that the website should appear and be able to be found on search engines such as Google. This can be done by implementing SEO optimization on the website or paying for SEM. Email marketing is the easiest way to directly get in touch with your customer. Contacts can directly be sourced from reliable databases like ZoomInfo. Crafting personalized informative, and visually appealing emails often result in the best response rates. Creating content like mini documentaries, blogs, and podcasts is a great versatile tool that can help effectively captivate your audience. It also can display Apricot's ability and industry expertise and enhance discoverability while fostering enduring relationships with your audience. The modern learning landscape has shifted to the virtual realm. That's undoubted. Webinars and virtual events offered by ESG consulting companies like Apricot could be a strategic channel to engage directly with pharmaceutical executives. It also allows the Apricot consultants to establish meaningful connections with pharma execs and demonstrate their commitment towards sustainability and foster collaborative relationships with them. Finally, PR and direct digital outreach enables Apricot to gain the final foothold in attracting pharmaceutical executives. Public relations through features in leading magazines and periodicals is a key strategy for the consulting company to establish strong foothold with the executives. It gives them a platform to showcase their industry expertise and also enhance the company's reputation as a credible source of ESG solutions. Direct digital outreach, including LinkedIn messaging, emailing, and Zoom calls, forms as a cornerstone for a consultant to engage with the pharmaceutical executives. Leveraging these strategies, you can establish a personalized and interactive connection. I now hand over to Likith.
Thank you, Mrinal. To proceed with the implementation of this strategy as part of the project, we have decided to split the implementation into two aspects. The first aspect, that is the implementation of the Goodness Index product, as you can see, highlights key milestones such as defining the project scope and researching of the product, leading to the development of the pricing strategies as well as a prototype. And then the prototype is internally tested along with stakeholder feedback, finally leading to the resource allocation and distribution for the development of the website and its platforms. The second aspect of the implementation, the promotion plan, is a relatively shorter project of 4 months, where the key milestones would be the strategy and touchpoint development, the definition of the inbound and outbound marketing channels, and finally, the integration of the PESO models and the marketing funnels into the content strategies, as well as developing a social media calendar. Finally, we also made sure that our strategy and its implementation align with the SMART goal guidelines, where it is specific to the industry challenge presented by Apricot, where it is about increasing ESG awareness, exploring new growth opportunities, as well as tailoring services for its existing Australian clients and projects. The implementation is also measurable through statistics like keyword rankings, website visits and views, click-through rates, as well as customer conversion rate. It is definitely attainable through initiatives such as SEO, paid advertising, sponsored posts, brand collaborations, personalized email campaigns, webinars, highlighting of client success stories, blogs, podcasts, etc. It is also relevant to the industry challenge presented by Apricot, where it is about increasing clientele in the Australian APAC regions. It also deals with revamping the social media presence and online experience with Apricot, as well as making the awareness and availability of ESG information more robust. And lastly, the implementation is also time-bound with a period of 12 months, scheduled to be completed by Q3 2024. With this, we reach the end of the presentation. And on behalf of the whole team, I would like to thank you for your time and hope you have a great day ahead.